And a very warm welcome back to the Gimme All Year Wrestling Podcast. My name is Ant, and this is...
Ace Ollie.
Ace Ollie.
Yeah.
Do. Jordan Devlin.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice to see you, man. This is our last podcast before Christmas. Yeah. So whatever you're doing, if you are celebrating with family and enjoying Christmas Day as a whole, we hope you have a fantastic one from everyone at the Gimme All Year Wrestling Podcast. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, just have an awesome day. Everyone should have an awesome day every day. So we're looking at NXT episode 18 today, which is in Plymouth. We'll go straight into it. We've got a couple of comments, but we'll read them as we're going through because they're sort of more relevant to the matches, I suppose. We've got Toni Storm.
Yeah.
She's back against Charlie Morgan.
Like a storm.
She is like a storm, isn't she?
She's like a Toni Storm.
Toni
Storm.
Awesome. She's here in a fair singles match for a long time.
Since the end of the tournament, is it?
No, it wasn't Charlie Morgan that was in the first singles. Yeah, it was Charlie Morgan that was in the first singles match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Charlie Morgan in a first singles match. But it's a while since we've seen Toni Storm, isn't it?
Yes, we hadn't seen her since the championship loss. Yeah. The first slap was from Charlie Morgan. Sounded like she really went for it.
Yeah.
Really trying to rile Toni up. I enjoyed the move where Toni runs the rope but changes directions on the way back to counter in the opposite direction. I really enjoy that, man. She does it a lot, but do you like that?
Yeah, I like it. It's ring psychology in it. It's
good.
It's
good.
Subverting the form.
Morgan got a step up enziguri whilst Toni was knelt down. Looks pretty good. We saw more of Morgan in this match than we did in the tag match.
Yeah, we've seen her in a tag match, haven't we? And I wasn't like super blown away by it. I don't think they got a lot of time, but But this one, a lot more to see.
Definitely. Well, they sort of had her as the person that was getting worked over because it was in a tag team match, wasn't it? It was Killer Kelly.
Took the pin as well, I think.
Yes, probably. Morgan, Toni's facial expressions, man. Toni's facial expressions. She just makes the most of nothing. Yeah. German suplex, hip attack, followed by Awesome Saw Zero. Was it a good match? No. Was there any story in it? No. Was it enjoyable? Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is it?
Kind of clunky in places. The audio levels were all over the place. I don't think they had the best chemistry in the world, to be honest with you.
No.
The Storm Zero at the end, very little in the way of downward momentum. I don't know if that's Toni or if that's Charlie.
Okay. Maybe it was Toni protecting Charlie.
Maybe like when you do a front flip on a trampoline and you can't quite go all the way around, so you sort of just flip onto your back. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, right.
It didn't look like there was any, like the way Rhea Ripley really plants people down. With
with the Riptide,
or even like the Tyler Driver, which is very similar to the Storm Zero. It's pretty much the same. Yeah, there's a lot of downward force. With this, it was just like front flip onto the.
Yeah, it
felt meh. But even so, even when it's not a great match, even when it's clunky,
when there's no story,
when there's no story,
she's so enjoyable to watch.
She's so watchable, isn't she?
So watchable.
Yeah,
enjoyed it very much. Even at such a basic level. Then we get a video package showing Gallus's pack mentality. A couple of highlights from the series. They've been such a vocal point of NXT UK so far, and I think it's good. I think they're a good linchpin.
Yes, early on,
I didn't think it was going to work. I thought three big men, powerhouses like that.
Yeah, it was gonna, but this the storyline based work they've done has just been excellent. They're one of the big story arcs that I'm following and thinking I really want to see where they're going with this. I want to know what the future of Gallus is, and that's.
I'd like to see Mark do more.
Yeah, because he's good. I don't know if his finisher is that
No, I don't think any of the finishers are. But those are just lariats and stuff, which is just a little sort of.
I don't mind a world's strongest clothesline or a big ass lariat.
Yeah, as long as it's done well.
A soccer kick, a diving soccer kick is just not.
Yeah. No.
But having said that, they're all really good in the ring. So.
They are. Flash Morgan, Webster, and Mark Andrews.
We've got a comment related to this, I think.
Do we?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll read on the match. Versus James Drake and Zach Gibson. Give us that comment, man.
Oh, this is one for you.
Oh, this is one for me.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
No worries, man.
Like I did say, please remind me. We have comments.
Yeah,
Jamil, awesome. Thank you very much again for commenting. We'll read out another one of your comments later on. We do really appreciate all the contact you're having. And I think you got a couple of replies on that comment as well, which is great that people are sort of interacting with each other and listening to each other's comments. That is awesome. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Gimme a Whole Year community. He says he's got grizzled young vets winning the titles and they should let Mustache Mountain chase them for a while. For those that don't know, the grizzled young vets are James Drake and Zach Gibson.
No, that's not the name they're going by on NXT UK.
Not
that's
yet.
What they were.
No, that's what they were prior to coming to NXT UK. Yeah, that's what they should do.
Yep,
it's absolutely what they should do. Although I still am a little gutted that they've put Gibson for the tag team titles. Mind you, he's a good worker with Drake.
I'm less gutted after watching the match on this show, actually. Do you know what it made me want to see, though? It made me want to see Grizzled Young Vets versus the Revival. Because can you imagine the tag team mentality and psychology in that match? Can you imagine how good it would be?
Well, I can imagine how good it would be, and then there's actually what we'd get, which would probably be
depends on what show it happened.
Yeah,
if it happened on like NXT UK, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Raw.
It would be
Lucha House Party.
Although, you've seen that they Revival are next in line for tag opportunity.
Yes.
Funny that right after Seth Rollins comes out and says, "Oh, Revival don't get enough chances."
Yeah, should we talk about that briefly? WWE like backtracking. Did you see Raw and SmackDown this week?
I know, but I caught up on it all.
Caught up,
I watched the clips and
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like Vince saying, "Oh yeah, we realise that the product is a bit rubbish at the minute. We'll try and sort it out," or if it's just a big work.
I mean, the thing is, right? Like, there's a lot of heat on the product. I mean, I give lots of heat on the product recently, but you know, like I've been rewatching since 2013, so I just missed like all the between 2008. 2012, and I've gone back and watched a lot of what happened, and I caught up on the story and stuff, and a lot of that sounds really dull, like really dull. Like the female superstars weren't being utilized properly, or were just like the whole
candy.
Was, it was treated as a joke. Yeah. They had the whole Santino stuff going on where Santina Morella won the women's battle royal, which is ridiculous.
Women's evolution.
Yeah, like there was a lot of
I also hear that, that James Ellsworth won the Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
but go on.
that was really stupid.
They don't always learn.
Yeah, no, they don't. But do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like actually, like at the moment, we're getting some of the best actual wrestling on Raw that we've ever had. Like, if you think about the
it's just too long, man.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
It's
just too long.
But I mean, if you look at like AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan matches, if you look at like, even though the Revival lose a lot, you actually watch when they do their wrestling. It's very good. Like, there's a lot of very good wrestling in WWE at the moment. It's just the storylines are really dull.
They are. The writing team need to get sorted, and also that means that the booking team has to work with them because we're getting very much the same matches. When you've seen Dolph and Seth got it 17 times. It becomes very boring. Becomes really boring. So back to Jamil's grizzled young vets winning the title and letting Mustache Mountain chase them. Manfred replied that obviously Tyler was the first. What was the word? And it's UK title holder, and also him and Mustache Mountain won the NXT titles briefly.
Yeah,
didn't give him much of a reign. Probably should have done a little bit more of a reign with them. And he said that in terms of exposure and success, Gallus could be a cool faction. How about Gallus and Isla Dawn versus British BBS?
British Strong Style.
British Strong Style.
Maybe and an extra B in there.
And Millie McKenzie. BBS.
BSS, isn't it B?
Yes, but that's fine. BSS, British Strong Style and Millie McKenzie and Gallus with Isla Dawn.
Yeah, that would be good. I think though that like the matches might feel slightly contrived just to make it work. Like I don't know that Millie McKenzie or Isla Dawn need that. Like because I would worry then that they would become a part of the male side, a part of the male feud. Do you know what I mean? Where they become like an accessory to it.
Yeah, as opposed to their own individual.
Yeah, whereas I like the fact that the women's roster has like their own storyline
with a lot of depth.
Well focused.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of depth. Yeah. It's got a lot. I'd rather see them make like a women's tag division, and then see like Isla Dawn pair up with somebody really interesting, and then go, and then do it that way. Maybe as part of Gallus. I mean, it was cool when Nikki Cross was part of Sanity.
Absolutely.
So
Nikki Cross,
could see that.
Nikki Cross was a bit. Nikki Cross isn't Isla Dawn.
Yeah.
In terms of Nikki Cross is such a large character.
Yeah.
That it sort of works.
Be.
Yeah, absolutely she could be, but I don't know if she's necessarily got it in her because we haven't seen that from her yet. Do you know what I mean?
So here's where I'd be interested in that as a concept, Gallus and Isla Dawn, is if it's to do with the women's title. If the women's title
right, okay.
It,
yeah, cool.
And then it was about
Gallus helping Isla
holding all the gold. So they're like, they're like, we've got the tag, we've got the, maybe we get to a point where Joe Coffey is,
United Kingdom
champion. We've got the tag belts on them, and then they've got like, and our Scottish lass Isla Dawn is also holding the gold, and we're the Scottish, we're like, and then they make it part of like really proud to be Scottish because they're holding all the gold, and then they're working as a team to like keep everybody else away. That would be really cool.
Wouldn't it be better instead of Isla Dawn with swapping that person to Nikki Cross?
Yeah,
because I think she's just going to get wasted on men, to be honest.
Well, yeah,
it's part of the reason I say it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Isla Dawn and Nikki Cross. Maybe it's the women's tag belts or something. I mean, I don't think you need to make a huge focus on the fact that they're Scottish. Like, they could just be wrestlers on their own. I don't think we need to necessarily put those like things up. But
but it's the Gallus thing, isn't it?
It would be cool.
I mean,
I know.
Cool.
I just like the. There's a lot of like like the whole like William Wallace, like Scottish proud independence. We're strong people. Yeah. Like I like that thing. I like that element of Scotland as a nation anyway. So like. I think they've got like a really good culture, and they've got really like strong. They feel like a strong people.
Yeah, a strong people.
Strong people. Yeah, they're hardy, aren't they? Because it's horrible up there.
They're like haggis.
It's cold and wet, and there's nothing but mountains.
Mind you, we're from Hull, which is pretty rainy and drab most of the time. Anyway,
it's flat and drab, isn't
it? We do have a great podcast that comes from Hull, though. That's what I've heard. So Andrew's flying around the ring off the turnbuckles at the start. Andrew's is great. He's great. Any match he's in is great. Like the double moonsault from Mandrew's and Man Webb, that was, because it was Flash Morgan Webster and
Mandrews and Morgan.
Mandrews and Morgan.
Webster.
That sounds like a. I don't want to use the wrong word, but cemetery digging up.
Like an Undertaker company.
Yeah, an Undertaker company. Thank you.
Mandrews and Morgan.
Thinking Paul Undertakers. Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It does. That was their new gimmick. They just come out as little Undertakers. And like,
no, they should both come out as
Paul. Just coming out like
they should both come out as Paul Bearers. That'd be even better. An early rude boy block from Webster to Drake, and the heels had absolutely no offense at this point. But at this point, we start to see Gibson taking off tape from his wrist. He throws it at Webster climbing a turnbuckle. What do you think of that spot? Throwing tape at someone to get them distracted?
I like it. So the distraction tactics thing in a tag match is nothing new. Nothing new. But I've never seen someone take tape off and throw it. Before. Yeah. It's almost like so childish. It's an amazing heel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Also, you would be like.
Because when I saw him doing it, I was like, is he blading right now?
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
Or is he gonna strangle him with the tape? That sort of thing. And he just sort of throw it. Part of me really wanted it to just like hit him and for him to completely oversell it and to end up at the video wall and just fall off the turnbuckle. Have you seen the stuff like the WWE stuff, especially in like the early 90s and stuff at house shows? They still do it at Headsmith. They do ridiculous things, and so if someone threw popcorn at him.
was a joke to start with, wasn't it? It was like, how far can we take
how
this?
far?
And people really latched onto it.
Well, as you say, with Rock and Austin with the stunner, I mean, it was Rock was overselling it as much as possible,
bouncing off the ropes and stuff. Yeah,
I did want him to just completely fall off the turnbuckle.
I quite like it. I think like
it was good tactics. It was good storyline
on an old.
Established
classic, it was, it was just enough to make him go, what was that? And that was.
But is that just how good Gibson is, and Drake potentially as well? Whoever's coming up with these matches, it's just very clever. It's very clever.
It makes it feel fresh.
It does,
that for when you're watching. I mean, like,
and it actually just becomes a tiny moment.
Yeah, it does,
which is
and
cool.
it's memorable. Yeah, I won't forget about the time that Gibson took tape off his wrist and threw it at Mandrews to distract him. It's, was it Mandrews or Webster?
It was Webster, I think.
Webster. Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool.
Cool. And over the top rope backbreaker with a knee from Drake. I really like that double team move that they're doing, the Grizzled Young Vets. So we get the crowds taking the shoes off at this point, but Gibson, man, he's so clever. So instead of carrying on with the match, he puts whoever he had in the ring. I mean, it really didn't matter at all. I think it was Webster. And puts him in a headlock. And at that point is where he's reacting with the crowd. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect because he's saying all this stuff to Webster. This isn't for you, and that's all that sort of stuff. But it's the way that now he seems to be getting to a point where the crowd aren't taking over the match. He's letting them play into the match, which is like next level of stuff. He
knows how to use the crowd to elevate the excitement levels and the overall quality of the match. Because there's nothing worse than watching a match on TV or on a pay-per-view or on whatever, and the crowd is dead. Like the TV audience, if you're watching and the crowd is dead, it actually drains so much from the match. But when you see 100 people all stood in the front row, kind of waving their shoes around, because they hate him so much.
But it can also do the same thing. It can also distract from the match if there's stuff going on. And what I'm saying is Gibson now has got really clever at
not
focusing that
much when that's happening, so that he can
use it, and that's great.
He's a genius.
That's wonderful.
He's great.
Wonderful.
I love Gibson.
Webster's in the ring for a long time during the match. I quite wanted him to not get the hot tag. I feel like we always get the hot tag.
Yeah,
I mean it's tactic, but I actually sort of wanted him to not get it and to build up to it and to not get it this time.
I've always wanted, that's something I've always been interested in seeing, is I used to love those revival I always talk about the revival because it's so good. So good, yeah. But I used to love those matches where they would put off the hot, they would tease the hot tag over and over and over again, and it would always happen, but it would take so long because the revival was. There was one I remember where I can't remember who they were. It might have been Gable and
Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. American Alpha. America.
They'd finally made it away, and he's running across the ring, and I think it was Scott Dawson made his way out, got back in the ring on the other side, as he'd broken away from Wilder, and as he was diving for the tag, caught him in midair with a drop kick. What is this?
I think I remember Revival have done quite a lot of stuff like that where they get tackled,
or he went under the ring. And then pulled him off the apron so he couldn't make the tag. I was just this is genius.
It's good stuff. It is good stuff.
We got a lot of that in this match, actually. A lot of kind of cool,
clever little tactics. Yeah, not quite on that level at the minute. But again, I would have liked to have not seen Webster get the hot tag and to have, for all of his efforts, he can't do it. I think that would be a good story.
Yeah, that would be good.
Especially with Drake and Gibson sort of selling this really. We are a tag team. We are united as well.
Taking that and running with it.
Yep.
A bit of fantasy booking here. God, this is going to be an interesting review. Say you had done that.
Yeah.
And he couldn't make the tag.
Yeah.
Mandrew's obviously going to be a bit annoyed.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, well, you didn't make the tag. And
yeah.
He's like, well, it's not my fault. But tease a bit of a dissension between those two. Leads to a feud between those two. And who do you have come in during the blow-off match and mess them both up?
Aichner.
Eddie Dennis.
No, Aichner.
Eddie Dennis.
Aichner.
Mandrews.
What about Eddie Dennis and Aichner? Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get into it.
I think Eddie Dennis comes down. That would be my booking. Eddie Dennis finally comes down and starts exacting some retribution on all the people.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's to attack Mandrews.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're trying to get Eddie Dennis into a storyline that makes sense as opposed to
yeah. It's all just to book Eddie Dennis, really.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
But that's what I do.
Cool.
I do.
I think Webster would make quite a good heel. Actually, I think that Mod 5 gimmick could make a really good heel gimmick.
Yeah, he's already got a suit. I mean, that's what most heels do.
Exactly.
With a suit.
The springboard hurricanrana that Mark Andrews gets when he gets in the ring is it's worth getting the tag. It was really good. The ticket to ride off the second turnbuckle, the lung blower,
and they also called it a terrible journey. He went, the ticket to ride, terrible journey.
Yeah, because the ticket to ride the ticket to ride I thought was Drake and Gibson's finisher.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think commentary just got.
Well, there is a similar move. But in the ring,
it is,
on the ropes. So maybe
it
just kind of is an adapted one. I don't know.
So Mark Andrews is about to get suplex from both Drake and Gibson, but reverses it into a double stun dog millionaire.
Yeah. And it caught me by surprise.
Awesome.
Again. I should have seen it coming. Every single time he does it, I'm like,
where does it come from? Yeah. It's great.
The annoying thing is, it's always from a suplex. Like every single time it's been from a suplex, but I still never see it coming.
Yeah, but it's the way that he twists around, and he could be going from the back of him, and then suddenly he's just in a position for a stun dog millionaire. It's really good.
Mandrew is so good.
He is. In an awesome spot, but as Andrew sets up the shooting star press, Fabian Aichner comes out to attack Morgan Webster, setting him up with his signature knee to the steps. Andrews goes to save Webster, vaulting over the top rope. Whilst this happens, Drake and Gibson do a sneaky tag. Again, awesome heel tactics here. So that when Andrew vaults in and delivers a shooting star press on Drake, Gibson, who is stalking him at this point on the outside, which is great because he's got such a sneaky face.
And he comes from behind him as well. Like
he does,
yeah. He deliberately gets to a point where he knows that Mandrews is going to be looking away from him, which is, again, genius.
It just makes sense.
Just smart.
As soon as he hits the shooting star press, Gibson drags him off and throws him into the Shankly Gate. Hate that name. For the win.
Yeah.
Aichner comes in and attacks Andrews, who's saved by Webster. I love the Aichner interruption. Yeah, I think we're getting a tag team partner for Aichner.
Yes, we will be.
Is that mentioned later on in a thing? Right, well, we'll talk about it when we get to it. Awesome tag match. Really heavy on story, really heavy on ring psychology. Both teams did amazing, and this is exactly the type of thing that did to the women's tournament that made the women's belt feel special and exciting. And suddenly, after this match, I'm feeling more interested in the UK NXT tag titles.
Yeah.
It was a great match.
In particular, Grizzled Young Vets or Gibson and Drake.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for the most part, it was Gibson and Mandrews who really had the exciting points of the match. I think Drake and Webster were very solid, but they were they were the props, they propped everything up.
Yeah.
And Mandrews and Gibson really got to shine with their storytelling and their amazing in-ring work.
They did, yeah. I think they do need to give Drake a little bit more of that cleverness, actually, that Gibson has. Yeah. Instead of just having him being the guy that gets beat up before Gibson comes in and dominates.
Because he just seems to get he took an absolute beating at the end of that match, didn't he? It made him kind of look actually really weak.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, at times, at times it does. Aichner coming in and ruining the match. Great.
Fine with me.
Love it.
If it was a pay-per-view, I'd probably feel differently.
Really, I'd probably be fine with it.
I quite like a clean finish. Okay. Or at least a finish that involves the people involved in the match.
I like the thing with Aichner that that's more important than this match for Mandrews and
I'm perfectly happy with that.
Cool.
I like Aichner and they work well together. I don't know if I want to see Aichner in a tag team really, but I mean, I said that about Gibson and I'm kind of happy now. So
cool. Yeah. Next up, Nina Samuels and Killer Kelly are against each other to prove who is better to go for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Hey?
Yeah,
I thought that you'd lost every match you'd both been in. How do we suddenly get into the title picture? Oh,
I don't know. Makes no sense to me.
No.
Mackenzie
makes sense.
Better.
Zaya Brookside makes sense.
Yeah.
Just feed them to Ripley.
Yeah.
For now.
That'd be fine. Millie McKenzie, I feel, is the one person on the roster who should give her, in terms of physicality, maybe not in terms of ring psychology, but in terms of physicality, should give Rhea Ripley the closest.
Maybe they're just saving him. Maybe
Millie McKenzie will be the one to take it eventually. So then waiting on her.
So maybe at the next pay-per-view. Anyway, yeah.
Because she's great in the ring. She's athletic. She's strong.
Yeah, she is good.
Be the one. She's
I'm sure she's
realistically someone to beat.
I suppose what I'm saying is, I think at the next tapings, I think they're going to go with this heel route, because I think Zaya and Millie could potentially both have a feud with Rhea. Yeah. So I think they're going the heel route just to tide them over until they get the blow off, and then they might go into that long story with Millie McKenzie or Zaya Brookside. I think is the way they're probably going.
I think it'll probably be Toni Storm.
Yeah, but then after that is what I'm saying. Yeah. I think they're saving it for after it. Kelly wears a mouth guard which prevents a knockout.
I don't know what that means.
That's Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I remember him saying that, and I was like, "Does it prevent a knockout? Does a mouth guard prevent a knockout? I don't think that does, because they wear mouth guards in boxing. People getting knocked out in boxing all the time. So,
is that wrestling lying to us again?
Maybe. I mean, also,
does mouth guards protect your brain?
To do with your brain, like bouncing around your skull, which then causes it to like shut down.
Oh no, they protect concussion actually as well.
Yeah, like
actually, if you wear a mouth guard, you won't get pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? If you wear a mouth guard, you are immortal.
I don't get it, man. It's just annoying. Thanks, Nigel. Really
yeah,
the match, it felt clunky.
Yeah,
it felt really clunky.
Scrappy first third as well.
Yeah, the full Nelson that went on forever. Yeah. Kelly delivered a basement dropkick, a double-footed dropkick to Nina, sat at the turnbuckle. I thought was quite nice by Kelly. Yeah. Kelly went for the suplex, but Nina Samuel pulls her hair to get out of it. That was the best part of the match, actually. Yeah. So Nina is using nasty tactics against the nasty heel, pulling her hair, stopping her from getting the suplex before ramming her head into the turnbuckle. And then it's like, is it a GTS that she's doing?
It's one of the better finishes on the women's roster. It's not like a GTS, I don't think. It's like
a knee to the back of the head, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was a while ago that I had watched it.
Oh no, it's not a GTS.
No, it's like it's a slam. It's a mat slam, but it's got like a
net break,
something to it.
Yeah, it's
I have to rewatch it. I've written down one of the better finishes on the women's roster. Yeah, we hadn't seen it yet.
No,
we haven't finished the match.
No. No. This is it. This is why we don't understand why they're going for the belt. But it is just a past bad time, I think.
I mean, this is bonkers, right? This is bonkers.
What is?
Nina Samuels going over Killer Kelly, and having it being like an important thing. Like Nina Samuels,
she cheated to win. It's all about just feeding it to Rhea Ripley, I think.
But why do that at the expense of Killer Kelly? Like Killer Kelly
is just looking so weak right now. Maybe they'll do. I agree. Maybe they'll do a comeback for her and somewhere, taking all these losses into.
We could have had Toni Storm versus Killer Kelly, and had it been a really competitive match, and had Toni still go over, would have made Killer Kelly. She's hanging with Toni, so it makes her look strong. Have her give her a good match, so she looks strong, and then have Charlie Morgan versus Nina Samuels, because we haven't really seen much of Charlie Morgan, and she'd be an easy feed for Samuels. It makes kind of more sense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
But
no, that's a really good booking idea. That's really simple, but really good. Yeah,
because then Samuels kind of goes, well, she's got one over on like somebody about that we've seen on her level. Maybe we don't know how good Charlie Morgan is really, because we've only seen her in one match, which was a tag match, and she took most of the punishment. You put her against Nina Samuels. Nina Samuels cheats to get the win, and then starts building wins from that point. She goes like, I've got new confidence from winning. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to pull people's hair. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to win. And then you build your story from there. But having her go over Killer Kelly, you just Killer Kelly's sunk now, isn't she? You've attached lead weights to her shoes and stuck her in the river. Like, that's
maybe a redemption storyline. I don't know. I don't know. I quite like the end of the match. I quite like the cheat to win, but that's all I've really got to say about it. It was, in fairness to them, they had a very tough match to follow.
When Samuels won, I wrote, what?
Yeah, what? What? Yeah, weird.
Really random.
Yeah, but it's just feeding to Ripley. Yeah. An interview with Radzicky.
You got it right the first time, Radzi.
Did I? Cool,
yeah.
just because I wrote it down right. And Fabian Aichner, who says if Morgan and Webster think they can humiliate him, they have another thing coming. He's going to find himself a partner to go after them.
Who do you put him with?
I don't know.
I don't know. They've got to be on the same level, though. You know what I mean? They've got to have that, because otherwise you're gonna have like really unbalanced matches. You're gonna have like he's gonna come out and do loads of stuff, and then you're gonna get somebody come out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's all about building this tag division, isn't it? Is the reason they're doing it, and the reason they're building excitement around it. So I get that.
We've got a lot of tag teams now.
Oh, absolutely, and most of them will break up after this NXT. Yeah. I think it's just about building up that excitement,
and
and not enough time for singles.
Prediction: who do you think it's going to be?
Well, this is what I was going to ask. I mean, maybe Connors. I don't necessarily want it to be Connors,
really
but I think he could actually work with Aichner in the ring. I mean, there'd be a good tag team. I think.
The only thing is, though, is if you're it would make no sense in terms of storyline. Because if you're Aichner and you're even slightly intelligent, you'd look at Connor's last match where he turned on Huxley at the end, and you'd go, "Well, I'm not going to work with him." You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you could say the same about Kevin Owens, though. Constantly, yeah.
I don't know, like.
But the thing is, look, if they put him with Connors isn't on TV at all.
Yeah.
You know, if it was to give him TV time, then I'd be down with that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know,
if it gets him back in the show, then
yeah. Who would you say?
I feel like it might be a new debut.
Yeah.
It might debut someone new.
Debut the New Bidet.
The New Bidet. Yeah.
New Day.
New Bidet.
New Bidet.
New Bidet. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just think that the solution at the moment to they've clearly gone like, okay, we've got one singles title and we've got one women's title and we've got the tag titles coming out. We've got quite a lot of people. What's the solution? Stick a bit of tag.
We'll do 2-hour shows.
Yeah, we'll stick a bit of tag.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just that doesn't seem. You can build stories without there being a title involved, you know, and they don't. Like, then they're doing it in some cases, but in others they're just not doing anything.
Is there too many people on NXT UK?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. You've got like 2 1-hour shows a week at the moment. I'm hoping it's going to reduce that. I don't know if you've got too many people, but I think that what they need to do is create a stronger focus on how it is that they are producing their episodes and how it is that they want those to come across and what the theme is of each episode. So say like, like any show. So if you've got like a show with a big cast of characters, so take something like The Walking Dead, right? The Walking Dead, they will focus, usually an episode will focus on a small specific group of people from a larger cast.
Yep.
And each episode, and sometimes those will cross over and sometimes they won't and whatever. But that generally as a format works pretty well because then you get to follow people's storylines, you have a reason to tune into the next episode because you're like, oh, this time we're focusing on these characters.
Mm-hmm.
So say you had an episode which was like kind of focused on what Gallus was doing.
Yep.
You get like so maybe they get a tag match and a singles match. There's like one promo in it, and then you have another subplot with between 2 other characters that you then like would bring back again and again sometime.
Okay.
That I feel like that's how. So that way, when you tune in, you know what you're getting. You know you're going to get Gallus. So it means kind of like it feels more like cohesive. You know what I mean? Like you're not just getting like random matches for no reason all the time. And that way you can kind of start giving everybody a storyline, even if it's something really basic. Like, you just have somebody in a promo and they go like, I just want to get some wins so everyone can see how good I am. And then, then you start putting them on a losing streak or, or whatever it is. Give everybody a storyline. But it only takes like 2 minutes for someone to show up on screen and go like, hey, I'm doing a thing. Or like, I don't like this guy, or I'm fighting for this reason, or whatever it is. But give a bit more story to everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think it is slight. I think there's quite a lot of people. I think that's a problem, and I think they really need to focus on. I don't know. I think they're doing an okay job. I think it's the problem is the filler stuff. That's my real problem.
Yeah.
Toni Storm versus Charlie Morgan. It's filler.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
No,
it's just filler.
because people want to see Toni Storm in it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Nina Samuels and Charlie Morgan and Killer Kelly. It's filler.
Yeah.
And it feels like the last episode, the last 4 matches in the episode were all pretty much filler.
Yeah.
The main event was naff
They're
as well.
dedicating a lot of time to just matches between people with no storyline and no outcome and there's nothing on the line, there's no stakes. So why not take that time and use it to create actual stories for these people?
Yeah.
It feels like there's just like a lot of like laziness going on.
I think they also need to have a top tier of guys as well, and they need to let other people be that person that steps back a lot.
Yeah.
That's how NXT works. If you think about NXT, like there's not that many main characters in NXT, and it's a lot of other guys that we sort of follow. An example of that would be someone like Oni Lorcan, right?
Yeah.
Ligero could probably handle that, but that's the problem. I think Ligero's too talented for that as well, so it's really difficult. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you think down below.
You get a lot of good talented guys in your mid card, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah, and you always want them to see them do further.
It's difficult because there's only a couple of top spots in there, and there's a lot of good people there, so it's always a juggle.
So into the next match, which is Travis Banks versus Joe Coffey without Gallus, which surprised me. Did we have a comment on this?
Comment from Jamil.
Cheers, Jamil.
Jamil Mendoza.
Jamil, is it 192? Is that his numbers?
Something like that, yeah.
Cool.
I'm not good at remembering numbers.
Maybe he's 192 years old.
Maybe. It said Ashton Smith is just dull to me, and Gallus should get merchandise soon.
So I'd like to know if Ashton Smith reminds you of Baby Rock. I want to know if you can see what we see.
He is dull.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Gallus getting the merchandise.
Definitely.
That symbol's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I like Gallus a lot. I think they should get but I don't think they should go too overboard with it. I think just nice simple t-shirt with
the symbol would be fine.
Yeah, the Gallus
just a symbol.
thing. Yeah. Because I like the fact that they've been rocking the NXT UK stuff, but it feels like too much of a face thing to me. I think if you're representing the brand, repping the brand, then you're a face person. Because that feels like a facey thing to do.
Yeah.
So they need to get their own Gallus, either. Do you know what would be really cool? Be the NXT UK logo with a cross through it, and then the Gallus sign somehow.
That wouldn't be cool. That'd be too busy and a mess.
Well, I don't know, something to represent it.
Just saying.
And it just says Arking.
I just think the logo on a t-shirt in a light grey with a white t-shirt done.
I just like the Our Kingdom.
Our Kingdom.
I like that.
Maybe Gallus written on the back. Do you know how people get tattoos on the back and it's got the slight curve?
Yeah.
Just saying Gallus on the back in nice. That font that's old timey.
Talking t-shirts. Have you ever seen that article?
This is our podcast, guys.
Have you ever seen that article, which is people taking the mick out of the current generation of t-shirts that they brought out maybe last year?
No.
And it was some people had designed t-shirts in the style that WWE were bringing out t-shirts, and the best one was a Dean Ambrose one, which just said Dean Ambrose on the front, and then on the back at the top of the collar it just said Dean Ambrose, and there was just something about it, just looking at it just rubbish, really basic, just Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose.
Well, Neville wasn't happy, was he? With his,
no, it was off the back of that. That was what it was sparked it.
Yeah,
Neville hilarious.
Neville tweeted out after WWE designed him a t-shirt.
It just said, good enough.
The King of the Cruiserweight, and it was just a rubbish t-shirt.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So into the match, Travis Banks versus Joe Coffey. Travis Banks we've not seen much of yet, and here he is in a full match. The two start off real fast with some good brawling. Banks eventually forces him out of the ring with a double drop kick. When Coffey gets the advantage with a forearm that connects to a diving over the top rope move, he picks him up and throws him into the barricade. Really good stuff, using his size and strength to throw him around.
Yeah.
You know what we said about repeating spots in different matches before? Well, there's again, we've just seen a match where the lock's on is full Nelson forever, and now we get another match where we're locked into full Nelson. You need to break that away from it. If not, it gets really stale, man.
Very strange, isn't it?
It is weird. They do it all the time.
Many times now.
It's weird.
It's been like match after match. Yeah.
So weird. Odd. Banks is screaming. Sorry, go on.
Maybe that's how they like set the order of how they're going to show the matches. There. Well, that's got to.
Shall we have a full? Yeah. All right. Stop thinking about what moves are linking up and start thinking about storylines that link up. Right. You know. Oh yeah. That's got full Nelson. People want a full episode of full Nelson. It'll be fantastic.
Full Nelson. A full Nelson.
Banks is screaming in pain as Coffey aims for the injured shoulder. Storyline wise, they injured his shoulder. Was it like the first episode or something?
Something really.
A lot of arm takes downs, but then Coffey locks in the trapezius hold, which I hate, man. It's what Yokozuna used to do, where he just holds you on you.
Yeah.
Does that look aggressive? Sell it for me.
Feels like a massive. You know what I mean? Actually, like that would be really nice if someone was like that. You'd be like, oh yeah, come on, carry on. Oh yeah. Oh,
I get it. I just hate it.
I hate really it. Horrible massage.
At this point, what could you do to stop me? Anything is the answer. I hate it. It doesn't look aggressive at all. Eventually Banks gets back into it and he's going at 100 miles an hour. Banks was actually quite impressive in this match with constant kicks and drop kicks, kicking out what I think was a gum shield or something from Coffey's mouth.
Yeah, something came out of his mouth.
I don't even know if it might have been a top
gum shield.
It might have been some sort of top. I don't know.
Maybe
it was interesting.
Like a what are those little things called which got like false teeth built into them? You know what I mean?
False. I don't know. I know what you mean. No, I do know what you mean. There is a word for them, but I can't think right now because it's early on Christmas Eve. Coffey did a spin move. It was a bear hug spin into a belly to belly.
Yeah. Belly to belly landed on his head as well.
Yeah.
Travis Banks landed right on his head.
Ba-dum.
Looked really nasty.
Yeah. It did. Yeah. So the two in the match tell a really good story. The idea of Travis Banks' injured shoulder and the play on that a lot. There's a lot of, even when they're fighting on top of a turnbuckle, Joe Coffey is still going for the shoulder and it feels like there's real intention there. Yeah. You know, which is good.
Good psychology.
Yeah.
Good psychology.
And then there's the double stomp in the corner from Banks, which looked amazing, with Banks tucking his knees into his chest before coming down. Yeah. Really enjoy that. Yeah. It's quite similar to Connor's, you know. Really enjoy the double stomp. NXT UK, everyone's double stomping anyway. It's a lot in wrestling at the minute, though, isn't it?
The double stomp is popular right now.
Right now.
Has it always been? I don't know.
No.
I don't remember it ever being particularly popular when
However, I think this part, I think it is impressive, especially like a coup de grace or something like that is really impressive. And when you show it to a wrestling fan, someone that's not a wrestling fan, they kind of go, that man just jumped on that man.
Yeah. And because it pinpoints such a specific location as well, like it makes you think like, if you did have somebody's double feet like slamming into your sternum, do you know what I mean? From quite a high altitude, it would really hurt.
It feels like a bit of a magic move at the minute. Yeah. It feels like the pile driver did in the 90s, where people go, I don't know how they do that without hurting people. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's all about weight distribution and how you fall and stuff like that.
Pull it at the end, don't you?
Yeah, but it's and that takes good timing, so not everyone can do it. Bank tries to stop Coffey's finishing lariat with his bad shoulder, which he then is crying about, and then Coffey gets his lariat for the win. I quite like that.
Yeah, the end was really cool because you think, he's blocked the lariat, but
actually it's the pain of it's
so
too much. And Coffey goes for it again.
Just to swing around the other way and clobber him.
I really enjoyed Banks in this match as well. I haven't been impressed that much with Banks in NXT UK before, including the first tournament. I wasn't that impressed by Banks, but
match with Wolfgang,
it's great. It's good. Yeah. It was good, and it felt like a constant attack on the part of Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey going over is cool. I'm quite happy. It doesn't
make Banks look weak because they're selling the shoulder thing, so that's fine.
Yep.
I thought that. There's a couple of just my little, the stupid things that I pick up when I watch wrestling. Banks screams a lot.
He does.
He screams so much. He's always like, "Wah!"
Yeah, it's cool.
Which is cool. I like you know, I like it when people make noise in the ring. It's better than like being able to hear him go like, "Whip me off the ropes." The Big Show. The other thing was, it's something I've thought for a while, but I just never voiced anything. Why do refs expect anything else than what you get in a wrestling match? You know, I was watching the ref a little bit during that match. And
that's not a good sign.
They go, well, no, like it was just like when they were doing stuff like going out of the ring or going up to the top turnbuckle, and the refs going, "Oh, come on, guys, bring it back inside. What are you doing?" It's like, have you ever watched wrestling before? Is this your first match? Like, what's going on here? Like, he was getting so angry. Like, he's getting really aggravated. This ref, and he's going like, "What are you doing? Oh, come on! Like, what? Get in the ring! Like, what?" Are you...
Talking about ring psychology and in tag matches, I love it when a heel tag team will tag themselves and they'll just clap to make it sound like they've got the tag while the rest of the time. We love that stuff. Love it.
It's just like every single match in wrestling, somebody goes outside the ring and then, why do they spend the whole time like looking so surprised about it?
I don't know. I know what you're saying.
It's silly. Like, it just made me laugh. I was just like, what are you expecting to happen here? Like, expecting a boxing match? Gay stars. How many gay stars are we giving it, dude? I feel like I've said 2 a lot recently, but 2.
You gave the last one 2.
Yeah, I know.
This is better than the last one.
Yeah. Well, all right. 2.25.
Yeah, I'd say 2 1/4.
Significantly better.
No, but it was good.
It was fine.
There was 2 good matches in it.
Yeah,
so,
there was.
2 1/4. It's fine. Best match was Drews and Gibson and Drake.
Yeah, I think so. I really like Travis Banks versus Joe Coffey, but I'm really hot on Gibson at the moment.
Agreed.
So,
yeah.
I do want to bring up one thing.
All right, then best performer.
Oh, go on, yeah.
Go on, best performer.
Oh,
you can do it.
Gibson.
I'm giving it for Banks this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Banks. Yeah. Even though I preferred the Webster and Gibson match. Okay. Cool. What are you going to say before we're going to...
So, there was I know I've talked a lot about audio and a lot about production values. And I know it might be getting a bit old now, but I feel like I have to call it out every single time because it's ridiculous. And when you've got as much money behind you as you do in the WWE, you should be having better. In the first match, the end of the first match. So throughout the first match, Nigel McGuinness couldn't hear him.
It was awful.
Quiet.
It was awful.
Really, really quiet.
It was
and then
awful.
You get to the end of the match, Toni Storm's music starts playing. Really loud.
Yep.
Really, really loud.
Yeah.
The commentary's still trying to go over the top of that. You can't hear him at all. It then cuts to that green screen thing that they do where they're stood in front of the NXT UK logo. Toni Storm's music's still playing. Yeah. Plays all the way through to the end of the segment, incredibly loud, to the point where you cannot hear the two.
What's going on with Toni? Yeah.
I had no idea really what they were saying.
No.
Because the music was playing. I was like, how do you miss that in production? Do they just not watch it? Do they not watch it back and just prove?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It makes no sense. Especially when they filmed it so long ago.
Yeah, and they're filming them segments afterwards. There's no
excuse whatsoever. And they need to sort it out. I feel like now they might just be doing it to annoy me. I think they're one of the people.
I don't think they care about the Gimme a Holy Air Wrestling podcast.
They don't
care.
Like, these guys, he really doesn't like it when
they're not like, we need to watch these. They're going to take over us.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? New Dave Meltzer.
Like, it's ridiculous, though, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it is.
Show shouldn't be doing that.
I'm getting to a point now where I'm like, it's just. I accept that it's a really bad thing that NXT UK is doing, and they need to stop it. I completely agree.
Because it's enough to actually turn viewers off. I think that would be enough to turn some people to get people to go, oh, what's this? Like, this isn't very well produced. Switch over.
I don't know. Enough. For me, I've just got you. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I was really annoyed by it.
I can tell.
But yeah,
I can tell. I'm sorry.
I will say nothing more.
No, you can't. No, if it comes up again and it's as glaringly obvious.
If it comes up again,
I know you will. But
I might just create a new thing like the Balotelli. I might just go like, it's a thing. Yes, it was terrible again.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. So awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. I haven't even said, like, if you've give us a thumbs up. It really lets us know that you're enjoying the stuff that we're doing. And if you subscribe to the channel, we'll let you know when the next video is coming up. The best way to subscribe to the channel is by pressing the ring bell as well.
Ding, ding, ding.
And what happens when you ring that ring bell?
You get notifications and that, don't you?
Oh, you do. It says when you're going live. Yeah. We might be doing some live streams. I'm hoping in February we'll be doing some live streams straight after. That'll be cool.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
I'd like talk to you guys as we're sort of doing it.
So I'm now going to be away. This is my last episode in this format for a while. I'm away till mid-February, but we're going to still Skype it.
We're going to Skype it, and the audio might not be quite as good as it is now.
I'm
but
going to be getting a mic, so it will hopefully still be all right.
Fingers crossed.
I'm going to be on the other side of the planet though, so there might be a little bit of lag and stuff like that, but we will work it out. We'll do the best we can.
So even if you have a break and you want to come back in February, or you want to carry on following us, that is awesome.
We'll still try and put out episodes every week.
Yeah, just to give our opinion. We might try and make them a little bit shorter as well, because I think they're going to be quite hard to film.
This is going to be a really long one.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Go head on over to Facebook, Facey B, where we have posts going on and stuff. So do that. It's some good fun there. We've got like 1,000, well over 1,000 people liking us on Facebook.
That's cool.
Less than 100 subscribers on YouTube. But we're on the road to 100.
Yeah.
So if you want to help us reach that 100 mark, that'd be awesome.
By WrestleMania,
that'd be cool.
Road.
Oh, that's a really good thing.
We'll just be like in a little like minivan behind the main WrestleMania truck. Like, hey guys.
And if at Christmas you got some really awful presents from someone and you've returned them and got some money back and you feel like you want a better t-shirt, well, you can head on over to Redbubble, where you can get a Gimme a Whole Year t-shirt for the people not from Hull. Or a mug. Or a clock face, I believe you could even get.
Clock face?
Oh man, you can get all sorts of stuff on Redbubble. You should check it out. I need to start with Patreon as well. I checked that the other day and it's not looking very good. We did it when we first started and now we've not touched it at all. But we'll talk about that when we leave the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. You've been awesome. We've been okay. Keep it gay.